Yes? They have voted for the winning party, certainly in the last 7-10 general elections. The people of Southwest St. Elizabeth. I find them intelligent, talkative, knowledgeable about their politics and the local issues, and they are also independent financially and economically. So I don't know if that is a contributing factor to their sense of what is right from what is wrong. For example, I spoke to one of the gentlemen we spoke to this morning, a man 54 or 55 years old. Yes, and he said to me that he's a Miranda man. He's a PNP for the last how many decades from Danny Buchanan days. And he's going to stick with the PNP. But he's sticking with the PNP not because I'm giving him anything. Because him is an independent man. Him do his own farming and his own business. So I use me now vote or support them because they give me anything. But I'm a PNP man. And we also met some others who are staunch laborites. First man we spoke to, 59 years old, never traveled outside of Jamaica. He has his children abroad, and they have been inviting him to join them in the States. He has no interest of leaving Jamaica. But he has voted Labour because Labour delivers for him and his household. Yeah. Based on the reaction, I don't know if it's because of where we are, but all of them, except a couple of people, said to me, Floyd Green. Yes, one woman I met said, listen man, she's a staunch PNP, but she upset that she don't have nothing to do with Labour. Because from Beryl, them come round and them take her name and take her address and she fill up form and all know her roof no fix. So I said to her, so you're going to vote Miranda? You're going to vote for PNP? No. It's a staunch PNP, which I use. But me not vote. So you're not voting? She said, yes, me not voting. I said, why? Why you wouldn't vote for your party? She said, well, Miranda and Mark Golden come right there, so she point out. We're going to show you the videos later. Yeah? Miranda, not Miranda, Miranda. And Mark Golden come right here, so sit there and I tell them about my roof. I'll know. Don't hear from them. Don't hear from them. Yeah? So we picked up Beryl. For her was an issue. But her neighbor, who is a staunch Labourite, told me that, listen, no listen to them. Them are lied. All of them get them 250,000 or 400,000, but they use it to other things that they use it to fix their roof. I say, oh? Him say, yes. Yes. And him push up his mouth towards where the woman was standing up. Anyway, we're going to bring you those a little later. Yes? But this morning, I'm going to begin with the Integrity Commission. Yesterday afternoon, Nationwide reported that consequent on the publication of the last annual report of the Integrity Commission, we picked up on page 71 of the commission a table that showed that an investigation in relation to Prime Minister Andrew Holness had been closed But based on how it was framed, and based on previous experiences in interpreting the Integrity Commission's report, we decided to write to the Commission to ascertain whether the closed investigation was about the running controversy about whether the Prime Minister's statutory declarations and the issues surrounding that were over. So we wrote on June 30 to the Commission, asking them to say whether the inclusion in the annual report about a closed investigation in relation to Andrew Holness, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, was indeed about the issue regarding his statutory declarations, because this is of big national importance. It is a political issue. It is outside politics. It's not good that the Prime Minister's statutory declarations are still subject to uncertainty. And the Integrity Commission is the agency with the authority to say whether it's closed or not. It has been dragging for months. And the Integrity Commission responded by refusing to release the findings of the International Forensic Audit Report, which we asked them for as well, and refuse to say whether it has closed its investigations into the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. The Integrity Commission responded by saying the matters are both sub judice, and the Integrity Commission Act bars it from responding. Now, I find that very mysterious and frankly damning of the Integrity Commission. Yeah? You have been at the center of this national issue where the Prime Minister has been subject to all kinds of criticisms, including that in teeth. Yeah? And you have closed the investigations, and you are now refusing to say that? What does that tell you about the transparency and fairness of the work and conduct of this Integrity Commission? Let us listen to Ricardo Brooks' report after the break on this matter.
My hands were steady.
The Integrity Commission's annual report, which contains a table about an investigation in relation to Prime Minister Andrew Holness being closed. It was virtually buried in the annual report. And we at Nationwide didn't know how to interpret it with any certainty. So we decided to write to the Integrity Commission for them to clarify exactly what investigation was closed where the Prime Minister is concerned. In fact, we wrote to them on June 30. They responded to us yesterday. Subsequent to our report, I learned that our colleagues at the Gleaner newspaper also wrote to the Integrity Commission asking pretty much the same questions, similar questions, about whether that particular table that speaks to the closure of the investigations into the in relation to the Prime Minister for clarification. And they told the Gleaner, like they told us, that they're not confirming or denying that the investigation in relation to the Prime Minister is closed because it's now sub judice. Here's Ricardo Brooks. He has the full details, that sets out the background and the response of the Integrity Commission.
In its 2024-2025 annual report at page 71, Appendix 1, the Integrity Commission notes that it has closed an investigation into Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. The report says the investigation began in April 2023 and was closed in July of 2024. The probe is said to have lasted 338 days. No specificity was provided as to what the matter related to. So far as our news center could confirm, there is no other investigation in the public domain related to Prime Minister Andrew Holness except the probe launched into his declarations. In that probe, the Commission's Director of Investigation, Kevon Stevenson, recommended that an assessment be done as to whether Holness had broken the law by making false statements in a statutory declaration. The Commission's Director of Corruption Prosecution, Keisha Prince Kamika, declined to prosecute Holness, finding he had no criminal case to answer. Prince Kamika has since left the Commission after her contract was not renewed under controversial circumstances. Following widespread public speculation on the reference in the Commission's annual report, Nationwide News asked the Integrity Commission for clarity. On June 30, 2025, we wrote to the anti-corruption body posing a series of questions. Among them, we asked the Commission to clarify whether the referenced investigation related to the Prime Minister's statutory declarations, the same matter that had been referred to the Financial Investigation Division FID for further probing. We also asked if the cited investigation is in fact related to the statutory declarations, and if the Integrity Commission considers the investigation closed, why has it refused to certify the Prime Minister's declarations? Our news center also specifically asked the Commission's chairman, retired Justice Carol Lawrence Beswick, why the findings of the international audit into Holness's affairs have not been made public. We asked Justice Lawrence Beswick whether she believed the people of Jamaica have a right to know the audit's findings ahead of a general election. We further asked the Commission's chairman whether she would commit to making the findings public. We also asked the chairman how Jamaicans should view the work of the Commission, considering the billions in funding it receives, a closed investigation, and no certification of the Prime Minister's declarations. Our news center also submitted 2 requests under the Access to Information Act. Firstly, we requested all documents and reports submitted and prepared by all auditors engaged by the Commission to review the finances of Dr. Andrew Holness. We also requested all documents or minutes related to meetings of the Commission's Information and Complaints Committee for the period 2021 to 2024, at which the statutory declarations of Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Opposition Leader Mark Golding were discussed and decisions taken on certification or non-certification. On July 10, 2025, the Commission responded. In a terse 2-paragraph response, the commissioners and directors declined to answer all the questions and refused to honor the access to information requests. According to the Commission, the investigation into Dr. Andrew Holness is before the courts, and therefore the Commission cannot discuss the matter. The anti-corruption body also refused to provide the requested documents related to the international audit's findings. The Commission says while it acknowledges the provisions of the Access to Information Act, it is constrained by Section 56 of the Integrity Commission Act. That section imposes a requirement of confidentiality regarding information, documents, statutory declarations, and government contracts. It is unclear whether that provision of the Act continues to govern a matter that is considered closed and a report submitted and tabled in Parliament. Along with Section 53 of the Act, Section 56 is considered a gag clause. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has publicly stated that he is being unfairly targeted by the Commission. He has challenged several key findings in court. That matter will be heard in October. Ricardo Brooks for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Ricardo. Well, based on what has happened, the sequencing of events, the fact that this matter has become a political weapon against the Prime Minister. We are now weeks away from a general election. Such a decision to close the investigation would not in any way affect what the courts of Jamaica are to adjudicate on come October. And you know, I'm going to say this. I am one of those who has supported the need for an integrity commission. It is still needed. But I cannot any longer give this integrity commission the benefit of the doubt that it is not being used as a political tool, a political weapon against Andrew Holness. It is clear now. It is a political weapon. Just test it. Forget that this was Andrew Holness. Wherever Holness's name or issue arise, put instead Mark Jefferson Golding. Any other person. Could we fairly, honestly say this was a way to deal with the person, whoever that is, Mark Golding or Donna Scott Motley or Peter Bunting? Would that be fair to them? You have closed an investigation and you buried it in your annual report. You have not seen it fit to make public that or your work has been closed. Jamaicans are not fools. And we can put two and two together. Yes. And this Integrity Commission has done serious damage to itself. Serious damage. Can't trust no. And the new chairman, Mrs. Carol Lawrence Beswick, has a lot of work to do to repair the damage that has been done to its credibility. She has a lot of work to do. I don't envy her at all, because more than half the country now are now convinced that the commission has been weaponized, manipulated to do damage to the Prime Minister of Jamaica. That's my view. Now, to the other hot issue, the rural school bus system. I see where questions are being asked about the price of the buses, whether 100 old buses could really cost $1.4 billion. Yeah? That is one of the new issues to arise. Yeah? And the transport minister confronted the issue head on. Not for the first time, but again yesterday. Mahiri Stewart has that story.
Nationwide News has seen the import licenses for 42 of the 110 buses being used for the government's rural school transportation program set to be launched in September. According to the documents, the cost of the buses being purchased by the ministry range from as high as $20,000 to as low as just under $10,000. In a statement on Wednesday, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz said part of the PNP's attack on the program involved the use of bloggers to raise doubt about the cost of the buses. Several bloggers have been posting documents purporting to show that the government could have bought brand new coaster buses for the $1.4 billion spent instead of the 110 buses to be procured for the program. One such document is an invoice for a 2026 Toyota coaster bus. The discounted price on the pro forma invoice comes up to 12.4 million Jamaican dollars. But Minister Vaz says not only is the math wrong, but the premise of the calculation is also wrong. According to Minister Vaz, the $1.4 billion to be spent involves way more than just the cost of procuring the individual buses from the US.
The $1.4 billion covers the cost of the buses, the inland transport to get them to the ports in Miami, sea freight from Miami to Kingston, the retrofitting of the doors, and also the refurbishing. It also covers 1 year maintenance, which is going to be done under the strictest conditions. It also is going to have the technology of a cashless system, fare collection system, and each bus is going to have 5 cameras. One for the driver, one to look at the kids, one for the geofencing, and all of those will be accessible by the schools. And last but not least, there's a duty component that we have to pay when the buses arrive here, which is factored in it as well.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Mahiri. The minister also said that the rural bus program will be incorporating the existing contractors who work with the Ministry of Education in transporting students on the PATH program. He says they'll need the support of operators with existing contracts who have been transporting students over the years under the PATH rural bus service.
I had a meeting with the Ministry of Education on Tuesday where I indicated to them that it is not the policy or my position to disenfranchise those private contractors contracted to the Ministry of Education to carry PATH students across Jamaica through a subvention to the schools funded by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. There is routes that will be affected, but I have given instructions that the Ministry of Education is to meet with the contractors. Some of them have been given service for decades in the business, and it is not my intention or the intention of the government to disenfranchise them.
Mr. Vaz says between the ministries, funding will be provided for the contractors.
They were there when nobody else was thinking about a rural school bus system, and they operated and carried the kids in a safe way. So as far as my position is concerned, I'm expecting those meetings to be held and a report brought back to me, and we will make sure that we carve out the funding to make sure that they keep viable businesses which they have invested significant money in assets such as vehicles and buses, etc. So I just want to make that clear before the mischief makers and the wicked and evil bad mind people start sending out misinformation and propaganda.
Daryl Vaz, the Minister of Transport. Yes? Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're coming to you today from the launch of the Pedro Plains Irrigation Expansion Project. Yes?